Hi, welcome to my channel. Today we'll learn HR source onboarding in SailPoint. Let's just settle in, take a breath, and approach this topic step by step. You know, if you've ever wondered how these massive organizations seamlessly grant access to thousands of new employees on their very first day, well, you are absolutely in the right place. Today's explainer is going to systematically break down exactly how SailPoint takes this massive logistical headache and transforms it into a smooth, automated process. To ensure our learning is properly structured, let's quickly review the agenda. We'll be covering Welcome to HR Onboarding, the 7-step flow, a real-world scenario, key SailPoint components, and we'll wrap up with a very important interview question.
All right, Section 1. Welcome to HR Onboarding.
Now, think back to the traditional chaos of manual provisioning. You have IT help desks just flooded with tickets, right? Managers are frustrated by delays, and new hires are spending their entire first day just staring at a blank screen, waiting to log into their email. We've all been there, and honestly, it is highly inefficient. So let's clearly define what we are studying today to actually solve this. HR-driven onboarding is the process in SailPoint IdentityIQ or Identity Security Cloud, which we often just call ISC, of automatically creating and provisioning user access when a new employee, contractor, or partner joins the organization. The crucial point here is that this automation acts as the absolute foundation of what we call the joiner process. Now, what's really interesting is understanding where this whole journey actually begins. The onboarding process always starts from an authoritative HR system. Some very common ones you'll see in the industry include Workday, SAP SuccessFactors, and Oracle HCM. Basically, when a new employee record gets created in one of these systems, SailPoint immediately detects the new identity and springs right into action.
Moving on to Section 2, the 7-step flow.
I invite you to take some mental notes right here, as we're going to walk through the exact logical sequence SailPoint follows to make this magic happen. Step 1 is simply when the employee is created in HR. For example, let's say a user named John Smith, employee ID E12345, is joining the finance department in Bangalore. Here, HR becomes our authoritative source. Step 2 is identity aggregation. This is where SailPoint imports John's record and creates an identity with those specific attributes. Step 3 involves identity profile evaluation. SailPoint evaluates its internal rules and mappings. So, if the department is finance, it assigns the finance role. And this brings us nicely to Step 4, birthright access assignment. This brilliantly illustrates how baseline productivity is established. Birthright access simply means the basic access every single employee in a certain category should automatically receive. Things like an Active Directory account, corporate email, or VPN access. All of these are assigned automatically, without anyone needing to raise a single manual request.
Continuing our flow, Step 5 is role-based provisioning. Here, SailPoint assigns specific business and IT roles. For John, this might actually include SAP Finance access or a shared finance drive. Step 6 is the approval workflow. Now, keep in mind, this is absolutely optional depending on the business. Some organizations require a manager or an application owner to formally approve these specific business roles before anything happens. SailPoint's workflow engine handles all these approvals seamlessly. And finally, Step 7, provisioning to target systems. This is where SailPoint sends out the final provisioning request to connected applications, physically creating the Active Directory account, the Microsoft 365 mailbox, or say the ServiceNow user profile.
All right, Section 3, real-world end-to-end scenario. So, we have seen the abstract theory of those 7 steps. Let's ground our understanding now by applying this to a practical, real-world scenario. Let's examine the profile of our new hire. On the left side, we see the HR record, which acts as the cause. Rahul Kumar joins the IT department in Bangalore as a software engineer. Now look at the right side. We see SailPoint's provisioning, which is the effect. Based purely on his HR data, SailPoint automatically provisions his developer birthright access. He gets an Active Directory account, a Microsoft 365 mailbox, VPN access, and Git repository access. Plus, his manager gets notified automatically. It's that simple.
And this right here brilliantly illustrates the ultimate business value of identity management. The result? A day-one ready user. Rahul can log in, open his development tools, and start coding immediately on his very first day. There is absolutely no waiting around for manual IT tickets to be resolved. It is seamless, it's elegant, and it's highly, highly efficient.
Moving on to Section 4, key SailPoint components.
We're now going to shift gears into a bit of a masterclass on the internal SailPoint engine itself. It is so essential for any IT professional to understand the exact terminology used within the software.
Let's methodically define the first half of these core components. First, the identity profile. This is responsible for creating and classifying the identities within SailPoint. Next, the authoritative source. As we discussed, this is the HR system, like Workday or SAP, that provides the trusted employee data. Then we have lifecycle states. These define the user's status in the organization, whether they are a joiner coming in, a mover changing departments, or a leaver exiting the company. Finally, roles. These are the bundled business and IT access packages assigned to the user to give them exactly what they need to work.
Continuing with our essential components, we have the provisioning engine. This is the actual workhorse that connects out and creates or modifies the accounts in your target systems. Next, workflows. These handle all that approval and automation logic we looked at earlier. Access profiles are basically bundles of entitlements, and that's a term you will specifically see used a lot in Identity Security Cloud. And lastly, the lifecycle manager. This is the component that properly manages all these onboarding requests. Understanding these moving parts really allows you to grasp how the provisioning engine and workflows execute the physical changes in your IT environment.
And finally, Section 5, the interview question.
As an educator, I really want to ensure you walk away with a high-value takeaway for your career. If you are ever sitting across from a hiring manager for an identity and access management position, they will almost certainly ask you this exact direct question. How does HR-driven onboarding work in SailPoint? I want you to pause for just a brief moment. Think about how you would structure your answer based on those 7 steps and the architecture we've covered in today's explainer.
Okay, so here is the perfect, comprehensive answer you can provide. You simply state, HR acts as the authoritative source. When a new employee is added in the HR system, SailPoint aggregates the user record and creates the identity. It then evaluates identity attributes and role assignments to grant birthright access. If required, it executes approval workflows. And finally, it provisions accounts and entitlements to the connected target systems automatically. Delivering this sequence calmly and clearly will immediately demonstrate your deep, structural understanding of the platform to any interviewer.
You can then conclude your answer with this powerful summary statement. This is the standard joiner or onboarding process within SailPoint's joiner, mover, leaver lifecycle management framework. You see, onboarding is truly just the very first step. As we close out today's explainer, I want to leave you with this provocative thought. If SailPoint automates the joiner process so beautifully, how do you think it handles the mover and leaver processes when employees get promoted, change roles, or eventually resign? How do we instantly ensure security when someone leaves? Well, that is a fascinating topic for another session. Keep learning, keep structuring your knowledge, and I look forward to guiding you through more concepts soon.